Hadouken!
Hadouken!
Hello, friends, listeners, people of the internet, video game players, video game professionals, and video game haters. Welcome to another episode of Gameboiz. Today, we have quite a few things on the docket. Obviously, CDL talk until CDL's over, and then probably a little after it's over is what's going to be happening. But today, we have our co-host, Stephen Roth. But first, Mr. William Henderson. How are you doing this evening? morning.
I am fine. I am shocked by many results of the Call of Duty League, but feeling good atop the leaderboard. But yeah, feeling pretty good.
Dude, I can lick your butt hair. You're so not on top
whatever,
of the leaderboard.
dude. Literally on top of the leaderboard. Calling in once again our Call of Duty League correspondent, Mr. Stephen Roth.
If I had any comment, I would say that Stephen Roth has too much information to pick objectively.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, it's hard. Like, you're doubting Clayster despite his track record. And so you're giving people the benefit of the doubt when they should, because it's the real world. But it's hard for you at this point with the amount of information, how much you're invested in, to really separate your heart from your pick. So poor guy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm stuck in a weird spot where I'm like, I know, and then I don't know anything. I don't know a damn thing.
Never doubt Clayster, and we'll get to that. And we'll get to why that is in a little bit. The final game on Tuesday, Minnesota Rocker taking down the Seattle Surge 3-0, which we kind of expected. I thought the Surge might take one, but...
Yeah, I didn't think it'd come in with a sweep.
Yeah,
for sure. Because they're...
Yeah,
gay-ass.
I also had Seattle taking one map, but nope. They really are as bad as we think they are.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, and also like Rocker are good.
Rocker are good.
That's a weird. That's a weird way to say it, but that's the proper. So Wednesday, Dallas versus Royal Ravens. Thieves.
Yep.
In the Surge, and then Optic and Ultra. Dallas taking that first one, but not easily.
No, London decided to come to play from how they played on Tuesday to how they played on Wednesday. So it's a wholly different team.
Hey, so my question to both of you is, do you think London came to play, or Empire isn't quite showing up?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Why do you think, Stephen, that Dallas isn't quite showing up? What gives you that idea?
I think they know they're a hot team. So if they come out flat, then they're coming out flat. Like they know they're a good squad. They know what they're capable of. But I feel like most days they go into the match and they're like, oh, this will be easy for us. And then if all you have to do is kind of, because right now Dallas doesn't have a great game mode. There's not like with Optic, they're great at hardpoint and control. With the Rocker, you knew that they were great at search and destroy. The same with Toronto, you knew that they were good at search and destroy. So, but there's no game mode that Dallas is shining in, where they're always going to be a good search team, or they're always going to be a good control team. It's not like that. So when they come out flat, you can take that respawn off of them. You can take those search and destroys off of them, and you can push them to a game 5. And we saw that all week.
And they're a great team, and the thing is, they have great players, and I think a lot of times they kind of try to take things into their own hands when they really shouldn't be, or like it's not a good game decision to do so. And I think during that match, I'm pretty sure it was that one where they were doing the Astro listen in, and you heard Crim 6 like take control and be like, "Hey, listen, we need to stop going in one by one. We're getting taken out.
Yeah,
fall back. We need to regroup and like figure out how to take this hard point."
Yeah, and like you see it a lot in the younger players where they're just over challenging gunfights that they don't need to take, or that they should be waiting for backup, and instead they're flying out and sliding around a corner and getting shot, and they're like, well, what's going on? It's like when you can't always just assume you're going to get traded out if you don't have teammate support. So
Right.
it's just young stuff.
Yeah, and in the end, they were able to figure it out quickly and come out on top with the series. But I mean, it took 5 games, but
Yep.
So second game of the day, Thieves versus Surge. Another 5-game match, but ended up in the hands of the Thieves.
Yeah.
To our surprise, chagrin.
I don't think so. I had it 3-2, which is on the money. Basically,
It's so absurd. It's so absurd. With how Surge has played, for you to go 3-2 is crazy.
But here's my thought process though, and also when we're done with this, I'll share my thought strategy, and it's not only time travel, but LA Thieves is, in my opinion, the lesser of the LA teams, and Seattle Surge is the lesser of the league. So when you get both of them together, Thieves is going to pull it out because they feel like they always have to, and Surge is going to play Surge. So it's going to be a close game, but 3-2, and I called it. You're welcome.
I can't wait for the Thieves to play LAG and just fucking run train.
No, here's the problem. LAG is going to have an off day. That's just what's going to happen. Okay, look, the Almanac said on page 78 that Los Angeles Guerrillas has to make a last-minute substitution. So,
okay, dude.
You just shit yourself when I'm right.
Oh, my God. Whatever, dude. Moving into the last game of the day. It's fucked up as I can't be like, no, that's not gonna happen because
why? Because I've missed 2?
Because of all the predictions you made. Last game of the day, Optic Chicago taking down Toronto Ultra 3-1. Looking good out there for your team there, Stephen.
Yeah, and it was funny because I said that they could probably steal a respawn, and instead they stole. Well, they didn't steal. They won a search and destroy. And I don't know, like I'm underwhelmed by Optics search and destroy so far this year. They are getting wrecked in search, bad, and so.
And they
as long as you can, yeah. And if you, I mean, literally, if you can steal a respawn from Optic, you can take them to a game 5 because their search and destroy is not good, and you can probably win that game 5. So
yeah,
it's going to be a tough one.
And this commentary is coming from a Optic fanboy of all fanboys, who's, according to my observations, his bedroom is always lit in Optic green. So
yeah, I mean, I've got my PC is green, my keyboard is green and white, my mouse is green.
Dude, I bet if I slit your throat, you'd bleed like the Predator.
I bleed green, baby. Yeah, I mean, Optics woes have always been in search and destroy since Black Ops 2. They were always the team that wasn't that great at search and destroy. So it's just something that they can't really click with. And search and destroy wins championships. That's how you win championships.
And
is your search.
And that's Scump was interviewed in between, or I think after their match, or maybe, but I don't remember. But he was interviewed at one point, and they were talking about that, and I think he sent out some tweets about, like, we know we're not good in SND. We're working on it, and you can't expect us to get better at it overnight, but we are working on it. So I mean, they know.
How does one get better? What are the objectives? What would you guys say are key skills to play a successful round of search and destroy?
Got to get that first blood.
You got to get that first blood. It's so important. Being up a man is always what you want. And if you're not going to get the first blood, then you want to be in a position to immediately trade out that kill. You don't want your guy who's off on an island watching over A lose his life and there's no one there to get the kill back, because that sucks. But I mean, the way you improve at search is playing more search and just getting those repetitions in.
Figuring out the lines, the angles, the lanes.
Yep. And search and destroy is very weird right now. Without sniper rifles, without smokes, it's a very weird game. It's rushing bomb sites and getting into gunfights, which is something we haven't really seen in search and destroy.
It's very it's I would say Cold War in general plays very counter-strikey. Like it's not necessarily like the previous generation of Call of Duty was, I wouldn't say heavily focused, but mounting on things was definitely part of the movement and strategy and a lot of the peaking points and the head points. But this one, it feels like Counter-Strike, where it's more about where's this box set up and how far do I have to be behind it so that my head's just a little pixel. It's not about mounting. It's not about those fine angles. It's about picking and spraying down. It plays like paintball, I should say. Like Like especially if you're watching, someone with an AR cover someone with an MP5. Like your backman is very much just laying down paint to cover so that MP5 guy can move. And I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting without having sniper rifles and smokes is that whereas a lane would be smoked off and you can move across it safely, now you're having to utilize cover and do all these different strange things that are more difficult things to get to bomb sites because you don't have those smokes or the sniper rifles to cover you when you're doing those kind of things. So it's very gun forward. So
I'm in it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about Thursday? We're going to the Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yep.
So here we go. Minnesota Rocker versus the Subliners. The Subliners take it 3-0.
Rocker are not good.
Rocker are good. They're just whatever
Rocker
it was. Clayster is just better. Rocker are wrecked for sure.
Subliners should make a Rocker are wrecked hoodie and sell it just for this season.
What's kind of absurd is that New York is still not playing with their official roster, which is
right.
They have a player. Yeah.
Yeah,
they have a player named Hydra.
He's got something to show, bro. He's got things to do.
They have a player named Hydra who is currently in France who can't get a visa to come over and play in the league. So they're not even playing with, who is essentially would be their star player.
Yeah,
and it's incredible to see the team really rally behind Clayster. Like I know that they want to play well for him because you could hear the frustration in his voice when they played Dallas the first time during the kickoff weekend and they got smoked. He was so frustrated. He was like, I don't know why we're doing so many things wrong. They were a fresh team. They had only been practicing for like a week or two with Diamond Khan and Asim. And they had just lost Zuma, who was their star player. So to see them bounce back the way they have was unprecedented. I mean, they essentially went 9-0 before they got to Dallas. They were like, or in the matches to Dallas, they won like 8 maps in a row, which is crazy from how they looked in the opening weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have
picked them. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I mean, Minnesota's been showing up. So, I mean, it's at this point, I mean, before we made our picks, like it was kind of hard to tell, because we hadn't seen them play much. So, I don't know. It is what it is, though, right?
It is what it is. And props to New York.
Yep. Second game of the day, Optic Chicago taking down LAG 3-1. Again, Optic showing up, putting the lesser of the two Los Angeles teams in their place.
It doesn't hurt my feelings because you're wrong. So I don't know what to tell you.
George, LA Thieves are 4-0 right now, man.
Yeah, good for them. You're having a solid season beginning. Just look, let me tell you, they're not going to have a great overall showing. Okay, strong open, but close game, different story. And LAG, I'm going to pick LAG all day. I don't care who you play. That's a dope logo. I'm down with the purple and black. Add some gold twinge to it. So whatever. Also, I have to pick something wrong at some point. So why not be the one?
Sketchy?
Why not be the one who is the far superior LA team? We will see.
We will see.
We will. Yep, we will.
Final game of the day, the Mountain Dew Game Fuel marquee match.
Mountain Dew.
worth double points on your leaderboards in CallOfDutyLeague.com.
Yep.
Atlanta FaZe versus the Mutineers, and I picked this one on the fucking nose, boys. 3-1 FaZe.
Yep. Well,
Flexing
what
over here
sucked
like
is
you're
that
the only one.
what sucked is that Florida really was winning most of the matches, and then they would choke. They would completely lose everything. Like they were winning in the control and they were winning in the hard point, and they just blew it both times.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's the problem with not being loyal to your captain and causing a mutiny. Okay? That's the problem, is that when it comes down to it, you don't have the organization, you don't have the structure, the discipline, nor the perseverance to really come through in the end. You can't pull it out. And that's, look, change your name because Mountaineers is cooler anyway.
But there's no mountains in Florida.
And go with a new credo. I know, but it's dreams, whatever. We want to see mountains. Mountaineers cooler.
Yeah. I mean, we know FaZe is good. We know FaZe is good. I really thought, and for a second, it really did seem like it was true that Florida just had FaZe's number. But FaZe, they're on the top for a reason. They're 4-0 for a reason. They pulled it out. They just
a lot of those matches were close.
Really close. That's a great series. Like, I would like to rewatch that series. It was great.
I specifically went to go watch this one because of your guys' commentary about it in the chat, and I agree though that it did seem like, at least in the beginning, Florida had something going. Like, oh shit, they might be able to pull this out. But FaZe, they just drug them out into deep water. They pulled them out into the fourth and fifth championship rounds, and Florida was like, oh shit,
yeah.
We can't pull this out. Like,
yeah,
pressure makes diamonds, bro.
Yeah, and I really feel for Florida, because now they're in a really tough spot because their last match is against Optic, and if they lose that match, I believe they finish lower on the board. They might start in losers bracket when we get to the major. So
it's important for them.
Yeah.
Moving into Thursday, first game, Los Angeles Thieves versus the Royal Ravens. Thieves winning 3-1.
I took that. I mean, like I said, the lesser of the teams, but I mean, they got it. They're still LA, West Coast all day. 3-1. I'm not shocked. That's all I have to say.
I had 3-0.
I mean, I really expected. Yeah, I expected a 3-0. Ravens, I think they won. I think a hard point or a search. No, I think they won a search, and that's where, if they were going to win a map, search and destroy would be it, because they're playing with Parasite, former world champion back in Black Ops 2, known for his search and destroy. So they were going to win any map. It would have been the search.
I need to change my username. Everyone's got cool shit.
What would your COD name be?
I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll give you a.
I know what mine would be.
I don't know yet. What's yours?
My
Naturally.
Let him go. Yeah.
Naturally.
What would be your COD name?
How would you spell it?
Naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
I like it.
My favorite one right now is Kleenex. I think he has a fun name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because they call him the tissue that's an issue.
I didn't get it until I said it out loud, because it's
Kleenex,
like cleaning, like to clean something.
Like it's spelled like cleaning.
A product.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is a product.
It sounds more like a bathroom cleaning product than it would a tissue when you read it.
Yeah. Okay, second game of the day, Toronto Ultra versus the Paris Legion. We got our French-speaking amigos. Oh, that's not French.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great game versus Paris Legion and the Toronto Ultra. It went to 5 games. That went German a little bit.
Why does it sound like Borat?
Thank you. 3-2.
It sounded a little Borat-y.
I lose it after a while, 3-2 Legion over the Ultra. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Performance, but again, Paris Legion showing up a little bit now.
Paris was like, look, you're Toronto. You're not even real French. Here's my dick. And they just shoved it in their face for 5 games.
They speak French in Toronto.
They do.
I don't think so.
They'd everywhere.
And that's Quebec. I think that's Quebec.
I think you're saying it wrong.
I think there's
Quebec.
Like the signs have French on them, but most people speak English there.
French fries.
That's why there are like basketball teams and shit there, because they can still communicate.
because they're more American.
Because communication.
Otherwise, they would be like, I can't understand you. We have no way around this.
What does one whistle mean?
I
called it, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had Paris with the win,
God.
pulling out the W.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know how he thought like this one and the Dallas one. What like it's like all right, we all took Dallas, but George was the only one that took it 3-2. And so when New York was up 2-0, I was like hoping New York would win, so none of us would get any points.
Yeah, and on top of that, he got
George,
double points because
he got double points because he got it right.
Mountain Dew.
Worth double points on your leaderboard.
I mean, it just showed that game. That game showed the resolve of Crim Six and showed why they are the reigning champs. Like it takes a lot to make a reverse sweep happen because you have to be flawless.
Oh, and they were down 2-0.
That control, they were down 2-0, and they were losing in the control, and it went to a round 5 in control, and they were losing, and they had one good break, and they ended up winning that map. And then in the hard point, it was really, really close. And New York kind of blew it. And then the game 5, Dallas just came out hot.
Oh, I'm really excited to watch yesterday's matches because I didn't get to
rewatch that one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun to watch. Even though I know the outcomes, it's still fun to watch.
It is. You're right. When I know the outcomes, it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the future games or do we want to move on?
Yeah, we've only got a couple more and we can talk about that. So I mean, we can hit it today.
Let's go your picks. We can go real quick down the line. Who do you think is going to win? So let's see. Saturday.
Hold on. Everybody's
27th.
already made picks though, right?
I've made my picks.
That we're keeping?
Yes.
We're not changing them?
No. We're not changing. We already said we're not changing.
That's why
even though I would have loved to have changed.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have changed so many picks.
Yeah, maybe like if they do something like this again, we can like do like 2 days at a time.
Yeah.
My timey-wimey device is a little squirrely on this week, though. So Saturday, February 27th, William Henderson, Atlanta FaZe v. Paris Legion. Who do you have for the dub?
I have FaZe 3-1. I'm doubting this one now.
Stop taking my picks. I'm trying to catch up.
I think Legion might be a little harder to handle than FaZe thinks. In reality, I think it'll be like a 3-2, but still in favor.
Yeah, this could go to a game 5.
Yeah. But I still have 3-1 for my pick.
Steven, are you agreeing?
Yeah, if I could change it, I would probably make it a 3-2, but I have it at a 3-1. I think Paris is definitely showing up lately, and they're good enough to push a team like FaZe to a game 5, but I still see FaZe winning it.
Paris is going to take the first one, but that's the only one they're going to take.
I would like that.
That's FaZe 3-1. I'm telling you guys right now, as you watch it, Paris is going to take the first one, and FaZe is just going to come back.
I hope that's the case.
I hope that's the case. If that is the case,
we're all in the same picks. We're all in agreement. That's how we know this is an aberration, and they're gonna fucking lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second game of the day, the Mountain Dew Game Fuel marquee match.
Game Fuel.
Worth double points on your leaderboards on CallOfDutyLeague.com. Minnesota Rocker versus the Royal Ravens. I have Rocker 3-0 still.
With a sweep?
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me that this is a marquee match because I would think the FaZe Legion would be a little more of a marquee than Minnesota Royal Ravens. Although I guess you could say they're a closer competition to each other. I've got Minnesota 3-2.
Okay. To agree. I agree with Stephen Roth. Minnesota Rocker are okay, so they're gonna take it 3-2 over the London Royal Ravens.
That's interesting because, I mean, the Ravens lost to the Thieves 3-1, and I consider the Rocker a far better team than the Thieves right now.
I think Rocker is an A tier team, whereas Thieves can be an S tier team. And the way that London played Dallas, I think if they play Minnesota as closely as that, they can get into a game 5. But I just think Minnesota is a slightly better team.
Fair enough. final game today, Toronto Ultra versus the Gorillas of Los Angeles. George, who you got?
And with the upset, I'm going to tell you, Los Angeles Gorillas coming in with a sweep with a 3-0 on TU. You know why? Because TU just got mouth fucked by Paris and they cannot recover. All right. Brain on the pavement, dick still in mouth. Like Los Angeles Gorillas is going to come in like those dudes in Men in Black after he explodes the alien at the beginning. They're just there to clean up. Sorry. Like someone else made a mess. We're here to make sure it's right. So LAG 3-0. You're welcome.
I mean, after Toronto lost the way they did to the Paris Legion, considering the fact that they had not dropped a search and destroy, they had won all of their search and destroys up until that point, up until that game 5, and Paris Legion came out and decimated them. I think it's a little hard to recover so quickly the next day. And I think, but I still have Ultra in my pick winning 3-1. If I could change it, I think Gorillas could take that to a game 5. But on my pick, I have 3-1.
Into my time travel. Cole, come here, bro. I'm telling you, LAG.
You're just trying to merge all the timelines into yours.
I am the Flash.
Stop merging timelines.
I'm trying to recreate the new 53.
I also have the Ultra 3-1 over the Gorillas. I'll still stick with that pick, but I think it's going to be a close 3-1. I don't think
if any of these picks are right, I literally don't gain a single point because Will and I have like the same exact picks.
He's trying to pull you into his timeline. Don't do it.
I know.
This is a Rick and Morty episode.
I know.
Let's get into Sunday.
We got first game of the day, New York Subliners versus the Seattle Surge. I don't know why, but I have 3-2 Subliners.
I mean, I got it 3-1. I would change that to a 3-0 right now.
Yeah, I would do that too.
No. New York, you can't play peak subliner game consistently. They're going to play a good game. It's going to be 3-1 Seattle's going to lose though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Second game, Optic Chicago versus the Mutineers from Florida. I have Optic 3-2.
All right. Well, I have Optic 3-1 with considering how Florida played against FaZe. They're probably a little shook, and they've been off for a couple days. I mean, they've last played Thursday. It's now Sunday, so that's a big gap. You're probably not as in the mood to play. So I feel like Optic can come out hot. They might drop that first hard point. They've been known to do that, but I still see Optic winning 3-1.
3-1. You know what? Call me a dispensary. I'm all green. I think Optic's going to come in with a sweep. They're going to be like, you know what? We had a great vacation. Let's kick their asses. So, bye.
It's that search and destroy, man.
Mountaineer.
We'll know.
All right. And then our final game of this Super Week, Mountain Dew Game Fuel marquee match.
Marquee match.
Worth double points on your leaderboards on CallOfDutyLeague.com. Dallas Empire versus the Los Angeles Thieves. This is going to be testy, but I think Dallas comes out on top still 3-2.
Wow. What do you got, George?
I think Dallas is going to take it 3-1 because Thieves are exhausted. It's tough being the second best LA team. Realizing at this point in the season that you're not as hot as you thought you were, and things might not go so well from here on out. So Dallas Empire 3-1.
Well, George and I are in the same timeline. I have also Dallas 3-1 over the Thieves. I think Thieves are a great team, but Dallas is just, from what they showed against Subliners, I mean, they can come back and do anything. I think they might lose the first map and then they'll just win 3 straight.
Well, there you go.
You're welcome. If you guys want to make some money, go to betdsi.com/thegeorgef because these twos are losers. So
just know I'm still on top of the leaderboard as of now for at least 27 minutes.
It's just statistics.
We'll see where you're at the end of the day. I think George might make this comeback.
I hope not. I would hate it.
He's gonna quit. He's gonna return Cold War.
Yep.
I haven't even bought
But we'll
it yet.
see. And then at the end of today, we might know where most of the the teams stand for the major, like who's going to be in what seed for the major that's coming up, and that's going to be a fun one. Is the first major of the season. That's really what we're going to see where the teams, like if you did a power ranking system, that would be where you did your power rankings right then and there. Is after that major.
Interesting. Any closing thoughts as we close out this this week of readouts and picks?
Optic is the best team in the league.
It's been a lot, but it's been fun to watch.
Dope.
They're very good.
Dope. Well, Stephen Roth, thank you for calling in with us. If they want to follow you as you watch the episodes, what's your social, bro?
You can follow me on Twitter at XWROTH. You can follow me on Instagram at XWROTH_. Those are my socials. That's it. And if you want to play video games with me, let me know. I'll shoot bodies with you.
Dope. All right, we'll talk to you later, dude.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
I don't know why you guys doubt me so much.
It's not that I doubt you. It's that I just don't believe you.
Why, dude? Like, Jesus is going to come walk on water in front of you, and you're going to be like, what's the trick?
Yeah, I will.
What time did you get to this beach?
Okay.
Is there glass?
Okay, David Copperfield. Take your wig off.
You're so rude. You're such a Houdini. Dude. Fucking A. Did you know Houdini had some dude, like his contemporary, steal his name and then pretend to be like a real magician, and Houdini like actively would do things to disprove him. Just it was like magician beef because there was nothing else to do in like the 1900s.
That's rude. That's what he started doing after he retired, right? He started like being like, "Hey, this is all bullshit, by the way."
Yeah. It's great.
I think there's a theory that like that's how he was killed.
Because he was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they were like, you can't tell our secrets, bro.
What is this, Bruce Lee's Chinese story?
Magician's code, dude.
You can't teach the kung fu to the white man.
Yeah.
Dumb. Fucking
hey, man. I don't know what to tell you.
But I mean, steal a name, like do something else, you know? Like,
yeah.
Do you think people weren't as imaginative back then?
100%. Yeah, we're way smarter than them.
But I mean, would you have been the first caveman to figure out that sharp stick go into animal?
No, not me.
Like those guys are literal geniuses.
That stuff is just happenstance. I think.
That's a great name for a boat, by the way.
Happenstance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of happenstance. How'd you buy it? Just kind of happened.
Sounds like a good ska band name.
Oh. They should play on the happenstance.
Yeah.
Welcome to Happenstance Squad.
Yeah.
So now that we wrapped up our CDL, you've put in some time on Cold War.
Yeah, I mean, if you can call like 6 multiplayer rounds time, but dude, and I texted this to the chat. I was like, I am genuinely upset by how good this game is.
Mm-hmm.
It's upsetting.
I forgot that you had already told me that Beanox worked on this.
I forgot too.
And then I saw the intro that you can't skip, by the way. Fuck you.
Yeah, right.
That says Beanox, and I was like, oh, hold the phone.
Uh-huh. Dude, they're becoming my favorite game developer.
For sure.
Really
if their name is attached to it, I'm in, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, they have better track record than I do on CDL, and my track record is just going to get better. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the movement. I like how the gun shoots. I like the like if you're getting shot at, there's a suppression effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's smooth. It looks cool. It's bright.
It's bright. There is a lot going on in it being sort of like a Black Ops-esque game. I always thought that the color palettes were different, like the Modern Warfares and whatnot. You have a much more, not a duller, but I guess duller, grayer, browner palette. Whereas with like the Black Ops, it's a lot brighter. You have a lot more reds and yellows.
Yeah.
And it makes for tracking people, I would say, a little more difficult in terms of like, especially during shrubbery, and if someone's wearing a certain skin that has real camo. For me, it takes a little bit longer to acquire targets.
Yeah, but but the aim assist seems strong in this game. I mean, maybe
no, you're just good, bro.
Maybe it's because I'm on a trial. I don't know, but I also like how it shows like the health bar above them. That's a great feature. What was really funny is like since I was watching Call of Duty League before I played the game they're playing, once I got into it and I was playing like on the map that I've only seen them play, it was like playing basketball at Staples Center. You know what I mean? It was like, I was like, oh wow, this is where they play. But
Yeah.
like, it was just, I don't know.
It was weird because I've never experienced like watching a map and then playing it like on checkpoint with
Right.
I not that I know the lanes, but I was familiar with it already.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, just go here, and I can run this
Yeah,
way.
I played Crossroads, like the snowy one,
Mhm.
and with like the tank and stuff, and I was like, oh, I know this line.
Yeah.
And because I've seen them do it online on the game, and I wreck shit
Yeah.
that game.
And Garrison's another one that when they were talking about choke points and stuff, I didn't understand. And then I played a round of domination. I'm like, dude, fucking god damn it.
Yeah,
like he just got me locked down. Shit.
Right.
I like that Cold War takes the ambiguity out of everything, and it allows you and gives you all the information you need if you want to try and get a competitive edge. Like when you're customizing your loadouts, they'll give you the percentages and the millisecond times of like, plus 10% ADS. Well, what the fuck does that mean? And if you hit R2, it blows up the stats, and it's like, well, it goes from a 0.7 millisecond to a 0.5.
Oh,
like,
I didn't know. I didn't notice that.
It goes deep. And when you were mentioning like the health bars and stuff, there's no ambiguity as to how much damage you did.
Yeah.
The crosshairs show that too.
It tells you at the bottom of the screen. Did you notice that?
Yeah. It gives you a lot of information where now you can you have data to see if your style of play and your loadout is doing what you want it to do.
What's really weird is that you get quote unquote eliminations, even if you don't kill the person. Which, Stephen Roth, I'm not that impressed by your numbers anymore.
He was just a show. He's trying to make us buy
It
it.
was like, oh, that's like kills and assists, essentially. And I was like, that's not the same thing, though. Because you could just like throw a stun grenade and then get an elimination. It's like,
essentially,
right.
yeah,
So,
or your damage contributed. But I think I like that because now it's turned it into like a statistical game. Like I would imagine baseball. Like now it's not just about your kills, and it's about your contribution to the team as a whole. Where like even in the scoreboard, if you're playing domination, especially your kills don't really matter that much.
It's about
like
the objective.
Yeah, and that's what gets highlighted, and that's how you get like your players. So when people start putting up high damage and they have no objective, like I'm like, okay, that's why, because now I'm not yelling at you for not picking up the objective.
Yeah, I will say also that their like best play cameras at the end are far better than what's in Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, it's not random.
Yeah.
And for some fucking reason, I'm in all of them.
Really?
Every single one.
On the opposing end, you mean like on the opposite side?
You'll see my name pop up and then I disappear. It's fucking rude. I'm like, can you stop showing me, bro?
Can you make it anonymous, please?
I do like that the carryover in terms of skill, because I've played Call of Duties back to back, and I always felt like there was a learning curve, but I could just jump into Cold War. I picked it up, and granted, I had to adjust sensitivity settings, but that's the only thing I've adjusted so far, and I can play like I normally play. And in fact, I would say that the mechanics in Cold War lean into my tendencies more than the other one, because the other one I'm mounting on shit and like it felt clunky. This feels smooth. Like the movement feels great.
Very smooth. And I had to get, because when I played Modern Warfare, I had my stick as the slide, and it obviously had switched back, so I had to get used to that again. But I think in this mode, I would rather have the melee be quicker than being able to slide quicker.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
At least with the way the game is set up now, I agree, because like Steven was saying, that it does feel more gunfight centric of a game. Like a lot of the engagements seem to be closer.
Yeah,
your ARs are now laying down prey fire, down long lanes, and you're almost exclusively your MP5s are winning those exchanges.
I've noticed that too. Yeah.
So I like that.
Some snipers. But
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
It's a lot of people
not
trying to
enough
show
where
off.
it's annoying. Yeah. There was one dude I was playing with on Nuketown that would just sit like in a back corner and just look into the garage on the other side and just wait for people. I'm like, you're fucking annoying, dude.
I did that when Nuketown first came out.
Did you? I might have to try it then.
When it first came out, that was the lane. That was the go-to. And that's what we were talking about a couple episodes ago is these legacy maps play virtually the same. Most of the spots still exist. Some of the head glitches have been fixed. Boxes have been moved, but the layout's the same, and they usually play the same. And that's what's making me like Cold War more, I think, is that more of the game feels familiar than not. Like I was playing on Transit, I was playing on Nuketown, and
dude, you can fucking chuck grenades. Your trophy system, like when I first threw my trophy system, I just like threw it over the car. I was like, oh fuck, dude, it's not like the normal. It's not like the one in.
it's not weighted. It's like,
yeah.
here's a box. Just throw it over.
Care packages are dope, dude. I got a chopper gunner, and just lay down some. Dude, it's been a good time. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah,
and, I might.
Just do
take
it,
the bait.
Just do it. Why not?
I gotta wait for my tax returns. Probably
dumb.
It'll be soon.
It is. What I like is that I feel like it puts the. It doesn't, but for me, it feels like the bar is lowered for competitive play because now we have all the data. Like when you go through it, they give you literally everything: horizontal, vertical adjustments, recoil percentages, and that's kind of what always bugged me about the other Call of Duties is you didn't get that, and you had to be like, oh, this one also makes ADS faster, so do I want ADS and recoil? Like you had to kind of balance it out. But now when I want ADS, when I want to make sure I'm going up quick, I can make that happen. Yeah. And I know that it's going to happen. Yeah. And so I waste less games figuring shit out. Like
I see. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
My lineup of domination games, it took me 3 games to figure out the game, and then skyrocketed. Like my score went up, and I feel like I've been playing this game.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a good time. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. It might.
Do we know how long this free trial lasts?
I don't know because you told me about it, so I don't know when the fuck that shit's gonna go away. I'm definitely not gonna buy it until
it's over.
Until it's over. Yeah, because
you try to get on it, it's like nah.
What if that's today? I'm like, oh, guess I'm poor.
That would suck.
It's been I think I'm 20 games in now.
Oh, you played way more than
I played a lot. Like my girlfriend fell asleep, and I was like, oh.
Slide out of bed here.
Yeah. Do it all quiet and shit.
Yeah.
Don't make any noise.
Put your headphones in. You know what sucks about the PlayStation is that even if you have your headphones plugged in until you choose your profile that says to put it through the headphones.
Dude, you're fucking up. You turn it on.
Well, I live alone, so it doesn't really matter. But
just rub it in, bro.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
And you can too.
Aren't you tired of not being able to play your video games?
At max volume, whenever you want. 3 a.m.
Aren't you tired of having your ears fucked by a headphone? I'm probably gonna buy it though. So it's probably a week. I think that's what it says, a free week trial of Cold War.
Okay.
So if you guys aren't playing it right now, pick it up. Add me. It's all networks or all console. What am I looking for? What word? It's everyone can play it. All platform. There you go. I'm old. Sorry guys.
Kind of. Is it on the Switch?
Probably. Fuck, dude. Why not at this point?
Yeah, true.
But I'm playing Animal Crossing, so fuck you. I'm busy.
You can play both at the same time.
I'm busy.
Animal Crossing during the loading
I do because I
screens.
can't skip the goddamn intro, so I'll fire something else up. That's rude. I don't know if that's just for the trial, but that's a long intro to make me watch every time. Don't like it. I'm not okay. Let me cleanse my chakra.
So aggressive today.
I need a Himalayan salt lamp.
Hit that pen again.
Get those negative ions out of my life. I'm really excited for this next one. Pokemon is coming out with an open world adventure.
Oh, I mean, aren't they
asterisk?
Aren't they all kind of open world in a sense?
The talk for this one, I think this one's called Pokemon Arceus, set to be released in early 2022. It's going to take place in one of the regions. There's 4. And it's going to be one of the regions that was previously introduced in, I believe, Pokemon Diamond.
Okay.
And it's going to be like 100 years before the game it was reduced. So it's going to be like a prequel.
like medieval Pokemon.
Not medieval, but I guess more wild, less tame. Because in the Pokemon world, Pokemon are almost exclusively for battling and not really viewed as wildlife, I guess.
Okay.
So it's going to be more of like a Native American, like these are also animals and they live here and here's their habitat. And
Do
you
they have
to
animals in the Pokemon universe, or they just have Pokemon?
I believe it's just Pokemon.
So they're just making animals fight each other, really.
Yeah. It's just dog fights.
But they have special powers, so.
Yeah, but they all have special powers, which makes it an even playing field, which means
fair.
they're still just making animals beef.
Yeah, it's like dog fights or cockfights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, and this is what I will say with cockfights, they give them knives, which is nice.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's good for you. Here, go defend yourself.
Yeah. If that was legal, would you check it out?
No, I've seen
really?
it. I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
How's
Filipino, bro. It's not as.
Sorry, I didn't want to assume.
It's not as brutal as you'd think, and it's also like it's just a chicken.
Yeah, who gives a fuck, right?
Like where I grew up, they're everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not cool to make squirrels fight, but I'm not tripping if one dies. It's cool, and
if you see them fighting, you're gonna film it.
But I've also seen like it's the way they treat the chickens, and I'm not pro fucking dog fight, pro cockfight, but they treat their fighting animals like a prized possession because that thing makes them money, and they're cared for, and they're not mistreated, and they're trained
until they're not.
and then they're. But I will also say they never let the chicken suffer. If that chicken's done, it's done. You got to put it out. Like there's no keep fighting. It's like just no, we're just
chop its head off, cook it up.
Yeah, it's not about the mutilation of the ant. Sometimes,
I mean,
sometimes if they're healthy, but a lot of times if you're like doing high level cockfights, like you're giving that chicken steroids, you're giving that chicken this fucking literal cocktail of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so the
insane.
meat's not flavorful.
That's pretty dope, though.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I guess I'm not excited for Pokemon.
New light shed on the Pokemon universe.
I'm always excited for Pokemon. I'm excited for the Pokemon Snap that's going to come out.
Are we going to get Pokemon canceled?
You can't cancel something that big. It's an establishment at this point. You can try, but you won't. They're talking about having seamless battles where normally, I don't know if you've played Pokemon. You have, right? You've played the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Where they're turn-based battles. You always get put into a different instance when you encounter someone or something. Yeah. They're saying that that's not going to happen. That everything's going to happen in real time, and that
Oh, so it'll be like World of Warcraft.
More or less, probably.
Dude, I'm in.
It sounds cool.
They should have called it Pokemon Craft.
Pokecraft.
Pokecraft, yeah.
They might, because if they could build that world, they could build on top of that world and just expand it forever.
I actually like that better. That's like Final Fantasy changing their shit to like.
That's why I put an asterisk, because I don't know if it's open world, because I thought Pokemon was open world, but now there's like a different dimension to it.
It's a different mechanic. It's a different style of gameplay. Like you don't. You're gonna have a rotation of like abilities. That's gonna be like your standard. I actually like that. That's kind of cool.
And it's kind of what a lot of people have wanted, because especially the last Pokemon game was very, very, very.
I've honestly never even considered
lackluster.
It. Like I'd never even considered that as an option. I was like, well, they have their style and it works. Like that's what people like. Like I never even thought of changing that. But that sounds fun. Actually, I like that.
Yeah, so you might be in. You might have to come over and play on my Switch.
Yeah,
bro.
I might steal it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, you can't steal it.
Like I did your VR.
You can come play with my Switch, but you can't.
Whatever, dude.
Dude, I play that thing like every day.
Whatever, man.
You can't have it.
I'll steal it. I'll just put my iPad in this place. It's like, there you go, man.
I'm like, this doesn't have Joy-Cons, bro. Like,
they're built in.
How do I play Just Dance with your iPad?
They're invisible now.
It's body tracking.
Yeah. You're fine. There's a camera. You're good.
I'm also George is excited for Twisted fucking Metal.
Yeah.
I talk about this more than anything else. This Twisted Metal and Ninjas on this podcast for the last 2 years we said now.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Go ahead.
Live action series.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're getting that before a new game though.
I think that we're gonna get a new game
based on this.
I think Sony is probably seeing where we're at in terms of like reception towards a Twisted Metal title. It gives them the ability to push another property into the mainstream And now when the game comes out, the people that didn't originally play the game, watch the show, and going to buy the game.
Yeah.
So I think later, next year, possibly, I wouldn't be surprised if a Twisted Metal game is in development for the PlayStation 5 right now.
Right. That would make sense.
And NDAs are like, nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a live action series.
The thing that I have to admit I'm kind of meh about is that it's going to be written by the Deadpool writers, which I really wasn't a fan of that movie, per se, as far as the writing goes. It was very hacky and very just
I can
not
see
original.
That in a very... Yeah, Deadpool was, in my opinion, a movie by the fans for the fans.
Fair enough.
So
it was just hacky.
Yeah, Deadpool in himself is hacky, but it makes it different because he addresses the audience, and he's the only character that does. Until WandaVision. But anyway, that's a fucking...
I don't know. Like, everybody was raving about it, and then I saw it, and I was like, this movie kind of sucks. Like, it's really not that good. But whatever.
Yeah.
It was just like the most obvious jokes that could have been made were made, and that was...
Especially number 2. Number 2 was very... it's like they ran out of subtlety.
I was just bored. Whatever. And it was a superhero movie. I was like, I'm really not that interested.
It was one of the first few rated R. People forget about Blade, but they're like, it's the first rated R. But nah, Wesley Snipes was chopping dudes up in the 90s, bro. Black people have been doing it forever. Don't let Ryan Reynolds whitewash your history.
For some reason, people don't consider Blade as like a superhero.
Because it wasn't marketed as one when it came out. 1997?
Just a vampire killer.
Yeah. And vampires were kind of in. You'd Interview with a Vampire with fucking Brad Pitt and what's his fucking name? The other guy. Tom Cruise?
Wasn't there a Dracula movie that came out around that time too?
Probably. And I mean, they always come out. Every generation has a Dracula movie. Yeah. Van Helsing is someone. So, do you want to watch the trailer or should we wrap this up?
How long is the trailer?
2.5 minutes long.
Oh my god. Why are they so long, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. You watch the trailer on your own. We'll get your reaction later. We can wrap this shit up because it's an hour, bruh. Where's everybody catching you at, sir?
At One-Eared Elephant. Elephant spelled with an F. Across all platforms. Yeah, dude. Thursday nights, W at the Worthingtons.
Yeah. I'm at the George F. everywhere. We are at the Buddy System Co. on Instagram. Go to www.thebuddysystem.co for everything us. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you later. Bye.